a lot because, yeah, got it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I will be from tomorrow. I will be working in this gym in Verona. The name of the gym is Magnitudo, and it's the place where Darian went for the seminar recently.
Okay.
It's a very cool place, like probably one of the best in Italy. And so, you know,
Nice.
I know the people there, and I wanted that. I went literally there to say, hey, there is a place for me here.
Yeah.
And so yeah, new experience for me.
That's awesome. And you've been there about a month? 2 months?
Yeah, no. I will be there. I don't know for how many times, for how long.
Okay, but
like,
you have started there a month ago?
No. I just went there a couple of days per week, like last week and the week before.
Oh, okay.
So now this week I will be starting more staying. Like I will take a room there, so I will be more stable there.
Okay. Great. So did you want to start with the video you sent?
Yeah. That would be perfect. Yeah.
Okay. So I noticed, and I'll pull it up, and then I'll put it.
I was at the beach, just
I can
moving.
tell. I'm like, this guy's having a good time here. So good.
Yes.
Okay.
So
okay, go ahead.
Yeah. What I note is that like the big toe, or probably the big toe, like want to stay, like going back to my injury.
Mm-hmm.
When I you remember when I was like mid stance, my big toe wanted to go down and before the pinky.
Correct.
So probably it's still related to that, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's again, what is initiating the movement? And because your big toe was probably the thing that was least affected by your post-tib surgery, it became like the driver. So
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense that, when you're trying to fold, it's like, hey, I'm here, I'm going to try to do that.
Mm-hmm.
If you, let's see, I'm going to watch it one more time real quick.
Yeah, me too. Go back to your chat here.
And to remind me, it's your right or your left?
My left foot.
Okay.
Left foot is injured.
Okay.
You can probably see a little bit of scar on.
Yeah,
on
I was noting it, but it was your tattoo.
Yeah, on the other side. Yeah, tattoo is on the right side, non-injured.
If I were to come here and try to recreate it, I mean, it does a nice job of again leading. But if I think about, all right, I'm going to make this dead. This is my left side, and I'm going to actually use the heel.
Mm-hmm.
And I could pin the knee and think about utilizing that heel. And the heel movement down is, and I'll show you this on the bricks in a second. That is really one of the focuses of that post tib on the arch.
Okay.
Is to be able to drive the heel down. Now, not like gravity fall, but when the foot is suspended in a way to be able to, I guess it'd be part of plantar flexion, for the heel to go down and the top of the foot to go up.
Like this?
Yes. So you're doing tons and tons of ankle, and I could tell by that because your finish is here. So if you think about having, and even just maybe using a pivot of the heel on the ground, literally that spot of that post tib where that scar is right behind the ankle. I just literally, you could even put a thumb in there to kind of give you a sense of awareness, but you want that to be the driver of the movement.
So I put my thumb on the scar, basically on the post tib.
Right.
And I want the heel to initiate the movement when I'm going, but like when I'm going this way.
Not
right?
necessarily a turn. Literally in this action, just think about lengthening the heel away.
Okay.
And
so when I'm lengthening, I'm lengthening the post tib,
yes.
right?
So in essence, you're taking this lever and you're doing this with it. So the heel is coming toward the screen. But the key is, kind of, as you were engaging that, you had tons of stuff happening from the forefoot. You want that guy to kind of be quiet. And again, it could be because your body is so used to everything else helping out. It could be just it could be just a tiny sliver of movement or a tiny activation where you're like, oh, okay, it's doing stuff. If you look for a big movement, all the things that have compensated to help are going to kick in.
Okay, I understand.
So I think that would
be yeah. So this part is probably compensating for this part that is moving less.
Yeah, I mean, it was going great. Like, it was just really rocking. So again, what is moving will dictate what is driving the movement. So that's why if this is doing tons, you know it's leading, and you need to kind of calm it down in order for the piece we're after.
Okay. Can I ask you a question? Because sure. It's not clear to me one thing. When you say, okay, let's use the heel to initiate the movement, to lengthen the post tib.
Correct.
So I'm contracting on the opposite side. So this is what is contracting.
Yes.
When this is lengthening, this is contracting.
Yes, it's almost, and I almost want, I mean, you could get that kind of specific to it, but I think if you just look for the sensation of the heel lengthening, you'll find it more instead of lengthen, like tighten, relax, or lengthen, contract.
Okay. So what you're saying is that instead of looking at this left and right, we want to look at back and forth. Probably.
Yeah. So let me do this here. Let's see if we can get, so I'll give you an example with the bricks here. So, and I will add a strap in a second.
Yeah.
Go here on my left side. Okay. So again, once the toes are up, I'll go here and you're set. The post tib then is going to be responsible. It's not a collapse. It's not a collapse where but within the arches, being able to drive down.
Okay.
So if I look at that movement, and if I take the same here, again, I'm still on the arches, but it isn't a collapse break where the forefoot, the midfoot now touches the brick and drops back. So if I'm looking to then, we're looking for, so the anterior tib, I would be going after the front side, right? So I'm going to pull up on this as I press down. But for post tib, you actually want to try to lift the heel and this is, I don't use a band, this is just a regular strap. Okay. And then force downward pressure upon it.
Force down pressure.
Yeah, so my strap is trying to lift me up and I have to stay on the arch and I'm trying to drive and keep the heel low as I pull up on it.
Okay. And my mind goes, okay, this is more Achilles tendon, but
well, it's again, they wrap into each other.
Okay.
So you kind of want to start looking at those. See, if I'm thinking of the heel drop and the heel rotation, we've been looking at heel rotation for a bit, but now let's necessarily look at, I didn't want to say, it's actually counterintuitive. I don't necessarily want to say heel drop, but I do want to say heel down.
Okay.
Because if I think about, heel drop, that's when Achilles actually blow, when I'm trying to go backwards and forwards at the same time, right? There's that lengthening. This is why this stretch is kind of troublesome and it's kind of counterintuitive. I don't necessarily want to stretch my Achilles, but I do when I'm on the arches. Very different thing. When I'm on the arches, I do want to be able to stay on the arches and have a degree of variability.
Okay.
Up and down.
Okay. So this is what you sent me about, like the post that Darian, that you sent me from Darian.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think the one I sent you is literally like he goes through anterior tib, like again, he's just giving it away. Like he anterior tib, posterior tib. Just by moving the band. Yes.
Okay. And how do you say, okay, this person need more post tib? Like if you have like someone like me, okay, you have a posterior tib injury, but
I think in general it has to come from watching them move and what they feel. I personally wouldn't be, because here's the thing, like I know that you have had post-tib surgery and repair and that, it's problematic. So I'm going to be looking at that in multiple contexts. Unless somebody else had surgery, I'll be honest, like specifically for that, I probably wouldn't be like, it's a post-tib issue. But knowing what I know and learning from you, looking at the ability of the heel to shift left and right, and the heel to be able to go up and down again while on the arches, then I would start making that connection.
Okay. And like, then I want to try this that you just showed me. But talking about the bricks, I saw an interesting post. I saw a post that you posted about the bricks, so I know a little bit, and I experimented. I tried, and I had good sensation from staying on the brick, basically. But if you can like tell me something more about why the bricks, and like we can choose different bricks, different height, different measures.
So the idea actually came from when Adarian came to Europe, and there was cobblestone streets, and he was like, why do my feet feel so great? And then it was like, because again, that's the key. The cobblestones are not as big as the foot. That's why you don't use a full brick, right? If I use a full brick, then everything is on it. I don't want everything to be on it. I want sections to be on it. And if my section is here, I don't want to have to fold and collapse. I want to know how to buoy myself when only certain parts of the foot hit the brick. So this was his first, like, oh, why? And then he equated it to that, and then he did all this other stuff. But it literally came down to, all right, what were the kind of cobblestone sizes that I saw in Europe? Let me literally grab it, because he's a tester, and try it. And he was like, oh, snap. Like, and the thing about the surface area is, again, bricks, and this is a terracotta brick, but it tends to be very porous. And the surface
this one is very porous, for example.
Right.
This is, the one that you find in the street, like coupled.
Yeah, so I said, like, that's the thing, like, that's the beauty of it, is that's everywhere. Like, nobody has to like go out and like, other people would probably like create a brick to like mass produce, but he's like, no, you just need a brick. But that's different than, for example, like a river rock that's very flat, where the foot wouldn't be so attuned to being able to stay on it. It would want to kind of slide. It's the same thing. A lot of people saying, well, why not concrete? And again, because you don't have the elevation factor. You don't have the placement. Because if it's just a slab of concrete, it's like one giant brick.
And what about elevation? Wide elevation?
I think in general, because if something is elevated, gravity is either going to take it or the system is going to find a suspension system on it. If it's not elevated, then again, there's no space in which to move and suspend from. So that's why elevation is needed. Now, I don't believe this is the type of thing where the more elevation, the better. Otherwise, right, you'd be on a giant block. But again, it's just very simple. Something being able to create space so your body could collapse into it. And how does your body not collapse into it? Same thing if the heel was on, right? I think you might have saw the other post, one of my child clients, he balanced proprioception, has trouble connecting to his feet. His feet are very long and very flat. But when I had him get on the brick, he put his midfoot on the brick and then curled his toes and locked his knees. And it was like, so again, I need to become attached to the surface, not trust the surface and support myself off of it, but he needed like an octopus wrap himself around it. And as soon as I said, lift the toes, he automatically backed up. So where this was centered and he was able to lift the heel. If you don't have any experience with arches, you're not going to understand their strength and their safety. Like, it's very counterintuitive to be like, no, all you need is this. Like, all you need is that arch. Where we're like, I have the whole rest of my foot to make contact. Why shouldn't I do that?
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Nice. Okay. So yeah, I literally brought two of these because I wanted to experiment a little bit when I was in Venice, but I need the block to put them on the boat because I had things to cover the boat, and the wind was I couldn't use them. But in the gym, actually, I had this and also the one that you have, so the classic bricks. So when you when I stand on this one, for example, let's say I stay here, so I'm on my transverse arch, right? So here I can manipulate.
Correct.
Maybe.
Correct. And think about it. If you could stand on the side, so I can note the height of your heel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you want me this way?
Right there is perfect.
Okay.
Great. Right. So I want you to be able to hang on to it and not lift the heel. So go ahead and balance and literally keep the foot frozen as you step around. Better. Yeah, when you go forward, it's difficult for that heel to stay, and you're on that left, so it's probably because of that post to better. And yeah, so it just wants to keep launching you. That's that Achilles kind of takeover. Yes. And it's funny, when you lead with your heel of the stepping foot, it recognizes stay put. When you try to, so I'll give it to you here. So you're here, and when you go heel, this heel stays put. But when you go toe, it automatically goes into that gait to continue. So again, it's about finding that, and you could even keep that foot in front.
And why this?
Why does it want to? Because again, if we're looking at the post Tib's job is to kind of keep the heel down, then it makes sense every time your hips you're going to try to step forward, that Achilles is going to go, because you have a strong Achilles and a repaired post Tib. So if you have those two are going to fight, post tib versus Achilles is always going to win until you make a lot of effort and awareness to be like, no, you need to stay put. I need to calm you down, Achilles. I need that post tib to hang on.
Okay. In fact, if I look at my like hypertrophy, I still have like less, like here is bigger. The post tib here is a lot bigger than here. Like actually is better than before, but it's definitely less.
Yeah,
so
and better is a great sign that you're starting to get activation there. You're starting to actually utilize it.
Yeah. And so that's interesting because like I feel like if I can do 1,000 calf raise and nothing changed, I need to like reconnect.
Yeah, again, what's working. So even if you're in, I'm thinking about like the position you find yourself in. Right. So this is my left side. So can I? And you'll feel right up. Can I try to lower this heel? And I'll start to feel that soleus. Right? Because high is very advantageous for that upper part of the calf, for that Achilles. But it's, can I drive it low?
I'm literally trying.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you can see, but I'm pushing like. And you can see, you can see the difference here. I was looking at that, and it's less than it was.
Good.
Definitely. I was like this.
Yeah. And again, we talked about you wanted to load, your body learned to load the uninjured side. So it would drop.
And I tell you this, when I was working in the boat is very small. I don't know if you saw a picture on my Instagram, but check it because I posted like a couple of hours ago, and it's very, very small boat, but very nice but small. And so when you I was working in the boat, and I was coming up with ideas, because when you work in a such like constricted space, and you have maybe to go under, to go in different positions, find different strategies to work. And so I was trying, some when you go some ways, it's more natural. When you go the other side, it's the opposite. So it's find difficult, but I was trying to balance the different way. And also you find yourself a lot of the time, maybe, going in this deep position. So it's really mobility work.
Yeah. Yeah, that's and it's terrific that you are able to recognize, and that's the thing, right? You're doing something, your focus is here, but your focus is also on your body and where it is, and you're able to switch and be like, oh, okay, I know what I'm doing, but maybe I need to adjust the lower. Maybe I switch these for a while and see.
That was I was doing, because you can always, if you don't think about these things, you always go where your body you like feels safe, and you always go in that position. So it was curious to me. I was trying to think about exercise that I could have some people have, especially like general people, and like putting them in a constricted position. Like I can create something with maybe some like the cones and the bar, and having them moves, trying strategies, but in a constricted space. So I will try a little bit. Okay. I want to try the one that you just did with. I'm gonna take this band.
Nice.
It's from the. I lost my, I can't talk English. Like it was 1 month that I have not read a lot in English. So I feel like
you're doing great. You're doing great.
I can't talk no more. So let me put this here. Wait. So basically, I put this down under the heel. I go on my transverse arch. Okay. Now this is pulling up, and I want to push down.
Right. And I can hear the breathing. Yeah, like it's exactly. And the more you get into kind of, there you go, the more you kind of get into that folded squat position, the less leverage you'll have through your upper. You can also, yeah, wrap the rope. Yep. There you go. More compression. So your two halves of your body are fighting each other. Yep.
Yes, pretty strong sensation. Yeah, so when I push down, the heels want to go this way. So it lengthens the post-tib, like
right.
This.
But you want to, instead of actually, because we're looking for that isometric contraction, instead of actually having that heel move, you want to lock it on the brick, use the upward force and keep it there. So you don't necessarily, in this resistance, you don't necessarily want it to win.
Okay.
You want it to fight. Yeah. Good. Yeah. And once I think for you, I know, right? It doesn't take much. It's the whole body. I mean, you're a genius. Once you're able to get the step over without it popping up, you're going to be golden.
Okay.
And remember that step up mechanism is the pelvis, the other side of the pelvis and the leg lifting, and that standing heel going with it. So you want to be able for that heel to stay no matter where that leg steps.
Okay. And another thing that helped me recently was like just remember that this foot had to go out a little bit. So I was so conditioned about using this foot straight.
Yep.
That just when I was sprinting, just starting with the foot like this and going this way instead of going this way. And you remember we were talking about this when I was sprinting, and like from the back, it was looking like this.
Right.
So it was like let me remember, I was in the block. So this was in. So both was in.
Both
right?
in the same direction.
No, sorry. Both was same direction. So this way and this way, right?
Yes.
So it was like this instead of one way, one the other.
Yes.
So this small adjustment.
You felt the difference. You can tell.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I did some sprint, like every time I can. I have some space.
Nice.
I just sprint most of the time.
Is it you just is it to train? Is it to test? You just really like sprinting?
Yeah, both. Like maybe I was painting the under part of the boat with my girlfriend, and we had to wait like an hour for the paint to dry. So I was there. I said, okay, I try some stuff. So I was like with my Crocs,
nice.
And I was like trying some sprints, some different, like some shin drop, staying squatted. For me, for example, when I sprint, I tend to go immediately into extension, especially with my upper body. I tend to go up.
Yep.
And I can't really stay like flexed. I don't know if this is something, I don't know, maybe some past injuries, or I don't know, but like I literally tend to go straight with the upper body, like this. So if you look at me, like from the side, you see, boom, this head. So I try to look down sometimes, for example.
Yeah, that kind of goes with really emphasizing and recognizing like the fall portion. So instead of like, again, there's so many folks saying I need to push out the blocks, I need to push. When you push, like your whole body's going to want to push.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm here and I say push, it's going to be an up. But if I think
mm-hmm.
about, and I'll start here and I'll stay here. If I think about falling, like I am able to just, again, I'm not pushing, I'm just utilizing the space. So it's almost like my upper body is folding my lower instead of lifting it off the ground.
Okay, I'm gonna try this. Another thing that I wanted to ask was about, let me see the notes, sorry.
No
Give
problem.
me a second. Roof flows. I have like a notes named roof flows.
Except.
So ankle pronation. No, this was an old one. Oh, I wrote about manipulating the wrist. I don't even remember why, but probably because I was like thinking about the wrist and the foot. Very related.
With the wrist, the one thing that I recognize that I personally had an issue with was wrist extension. So again, if we look at the foot versus in the hand, like basically the foot is always loaded in, if you think about extension, right? It's always folded. I put my hand the same way, right? I just recognize that I have in general, I have a lot of issue with it pulling back. I always want it to go forward. And it being able to pull helps set everything else up the chain. So you can kind of just see me pull everything in. But if I didn't have awareness at the wrist, again, I hit a sticking point, but able to pull then from that joint.
When you pull, what do you use to pull? I don't. What part?
For me, I'm literally thinking about like this space, and I'm thinking to shrink it.
Okay.
So it's
pull
almost
this way.
like, okay, so it would be kind of like here I'm hanging out, and here I'm lifting up, and that's all the way up through my Latin armpit. But it's a difference between resting on the ground, and you can kind of see this, and then pulling up off the ground. And then once I pull up off the ground, then I can get more forward without running into that constraint.
Yeah.
It's almost like you have to almost think of it as dorsiflexion of the ankle.
Yeah. And
that's just like loading and pulling. Again, everything was neutral or forward. So as soon as I started, and that's funny because I was working on some stuff earlier today, but the pulling effect and the xiphoid and being able to like, Darian is really big into that strain and that expansion right now, which was like mind blowing. But if I, like a motorcycle, if I pull back and then when I hit end range and then I rotate the elbows, then again, I get the whole system looking at this extension instead of hitting a sticking point and then trying to crank a neck or an elbow to make it work. It's just, again, it's looking at the systematic weaknesses and trying to shore them up.
Okay. So this goes to like mobilization, the upper body, for example.
Right, because again, it's all connected. It's like the thing about the arms is that we're not usually loading the arms. They're usually unloaded. So they tend to work a lot more distally. even though our hands have as much, sensory, if not more so than our feet, we do
unless you go climbing.
Right, which is a whole other, right? Because I don't know how people do it. They climb in a certain way. Even just it's like, and that's the climbing element is literally making your hands like your feet, because now you're loading and you have to find the placement and not get stuck and still be able to slide. That's the beauty of the climbing element is literally making your hands like feet.
Oh, wow. Cool. And I have a question. Not much a question, but an issues, let's say.
Sure.
So recently, you remember I had some problem with the peroneus tendon. Like I felt like it was stick. Not stick. Tick. Tight. Tick.
Yes.
Okay.
Tick. Gotcha.
And I have trouble. I'm Italian, so I have trouble with some word like tick, tight. So
that's what I always remember. My dad, who's also like first generation, he would also like pizza. He would like tick or tin, and we're like, oh, tick or tin, like, but it was just cute. So it's totally okay.
Okay, cool. So what happened is that sometimes when I wake up, like this felt like like I had like it jumps off something. Like
are you saying that it feels just tightness behind the ankle, or it feels as if the ankle actually moves back?
No, it feels like this is the peroneus, like it goes like up on top of something and then it snaps back in its place.
Oh, okay. So
and this happen in two situations. First, like if I wake up and I immediately like go out, and this was happening because as soon as I woke up, I went to see if the boat was still in its place, because since I didn't have the right place, so I put the boat in a place where you cannot put the boat. So
you're like,
I was like this. So I was waking up at like 5 a.m. and to go check the boat, and like just to tell you this, one day I had police near the boat, so they was like this to take my boat away.
Right.
But so this is another story. But yeah, as soon as I woke up, put my shoes on and wake up, and I was like, and then nothing happened. Or when I was like sitting, so like sitting in the chair and then like waking up. So in these two situations,
so
I felt like this like it was trapped.
Stuck. Yeah. So it's really great. I'm glad that you gave me the context of the sleeping, because the kind of the fear, anxiety works together. So if you are, you had the day before where the police came up and then you're worried about your boat, you're probably not sleeping very well. It's probably on the back of your mind, like hanging on, this kind of like anxiety, fear. And where in the body is anxiety, fear like held onto, but like an injury spot? The other thing to kind of consider is in bed. I don't know like how you sleep, but I'm a back sleeper. But like, where do these go? Right? Like, and again, and what's pulling it? So I like myself again, the first thing I do when I get up is I like literally, because I can't stand sheets and stuff on my feet. So I like I can only have like something really light, but I like move them to get them ready. It's almost like in bed. It's even like the weight of like a blanket or a sheet just kind of holds them down. And again, my body knows like it actually gets loaded this way. So it's just the quick
okay.
To kind of make that happen.
Okay.
The sitting.
This is very interesting also because to give a little bit more context, one of my like maybe just now I am at the point at the recovery point from what I don't like. Not every day I think about my ankle first things first when I woke up, but like I was like every day I wake up and like my brain goes to, okay, so on the left foot, like I think about the foot.
Yeah.
And then it goes, yeah, you know. And now sometimes I was happy because I was like 10 minutes after I woke up, I said, oh, I didn't think about my ankle, and I did feel nothing bad.
I think how that works, and as somebody who had an injury and then recovered, is that when you get up, you're already looking for maintenance. It could be a neck, it could be a shoulder, it could be a rib, but like as you're getting up, that like getting out of bed, you are checking and feeling, because you're so used to, again, having your attention on one spot. Once you recognize that spot's pretty okay, you start to expand that to the rest of your body.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes, I mean, sometimes I'll like pop my neck or move my neck, or like there's all these things that for me, it's a lot of like popping just in general before. But it makes a lot of sense. The sitting one, I'm curious, the sitting issue, I am curious what that foot and heel are doing. Again, if I practice sitting, here I have that heel rested. The other one, I have that heel slightly elevated. So if I'm sitting for a period of time, and again, I've got that post tib like locked down into that heel lift, it's a different way of locking. And again, even if I'm sitting, even if I'm actually sitting, I can load my left side on my right side. I could come back and lift up that heel and lock it in. So even though I'm sitting, there are still positions in which I can lock that foot just like sleeping, so that when I get up from it, your body's like, oh, what's that about?
Okay. And another question, but this is pretty much complicated. I don't know if we can find an answer, but I had these issues on my right side of the neck, back and down to the trapezius, and I don't have pain when I do like activity like climbing, boxing, or nothing, and I have this like sensation, like tightness and like even a little bit of burn when I mostly when I drive, when I'm in the car, and or maybe when I drive the boat. I was driving the boat. Now I have the boat with the wheel. I don't remember the name, but this one. But you know, the boat usually have the
right behind you.
Drive them like this. So
a rudder.
Like, also this position put like this. And I really don't know what to do. I was thinking that, maybe just climbing is gonna cure everything, but so
the first thing that hit me is the cross pattern, the injury, and then the positioning. So remember, it's your left side that got injured, right? If you think about crutches, your right side is going to want to do more help to lift the body. And since most of us, again, instead of go down into the ground and lift up against it, it makes sense that this right side is going to be a little bit more like I pick the body up this way. So that's the relationship of the injury, the cross pattern, and the helping of kind of what happens. The second thing that I wanted to look for, again, if I have this cross pattern, is the oblique. Between could also be the oblique on this side. So what is this middle doing is a big variable in this. So if you're, for example, actually, let me pause. Let me take on the third thing, and I'll show you examples of that in a second. So the oblique. The other thing is like the positions in which you showed. You are sitting, your pelvis is dead, and your upper body has to elevate itself and do stuff, right? If I don't have those lats turned on, if I don't have the downward of also the rib cage and this turned on, because if I'm here, this is dead. My arms are lifting me up and I'm driving. But once I, again, think about driving that xiphoid down, then I get the lats engaged, and now I'm being held up here. But when I'm driving and I don't have the awareness to do those things, the things that lift me are going to lift me more, particularly if I have to be lifted through that one side. Like if you're driving this way.
Yeah, this, I have the, no, I usually drive with the left because I have the
shift.
Yeah, the shift here.
Okay. And
so I usually stay in this position, like.
In the car?
Yeah.
Okay. So in that, if you're down.
Yes. So when this is up, I have tension. Here is.
Okay. So here's the weirdest thing. If this comes up, you have tension here. This is the restrictor. So find that position again, like you're just driving, and find it so where it bothers you on that. Oh, that you're here. Bothers you on that right side.
Here on the neck, and then eventually, if I stay for some time, it goes back on the trapezius.
Okay, hold the other arm up like you're driving. Switch it like you just had it.
Yeah.
So, because this isn't how you drive, right? It's the other way.
No, yeah, the other way. This is it, the other way.
Okay.
Yeah, I drive like this.
Okay, perfect. Keep that. So now you should, as you're doing this, do you feel that irritation in the side of the neck?
Yeah.
Okay.
A little bit, but yeah.
Okay. So as you're doing that, I want you to think about the down arm. Pull your elbow towards your obliques. And think about shifting that down arm rib towards your middle. There you go. Now, when you did that, was there any change?
No, but probably I did it wrong. Can you have me try again?
So here's my down arm. So I'm going to think about, typically when this is, what can happen is the ribs will shift over. So all I'm going to do in this down arm is I'm going to pull them away.
Okay, so yeah, this is my position when I drive.
I'm going to slide my ribs over.
So I pull this arm inside here to shift this, okay?
Yeah, you can leave that arm, let's leave that bent arm set and actually just pull the ribs away from the elbow, down elbow. There you go. And think about compressing into that point, into the side of the ribs, into that oblique. Now, as you compress in, there should be a down, there should be a release if you can get the tension right in that upper area. But
yeah, it's happening.
You gotta tell me.
It's happening, a release in the neck when I do this. And not only, like when I'm in this position, I feel like my neck is, it's, okay. When I drive in my position, I feel like my neck is, not straight. It's like
so it's almost
some
like
sort of tilt.
Right, and so where's the tilt coming from, right? You could adjust the neck or you could adjust the ribs.
Yeah.
To get that upright. And when you're adjusting the ribs in this middle, that should, again, your sit bones should help you. So if I'm going to be here and I'm going to kind of slouch into that side. But right now, as I'm here, I definitely feel the slant. But as I shift my ribs over, you kind of see how the knees adjust in that pelvis. I'm actually loading my right butt cheek more.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the opposite butt cheek. So that loading pattern and being able to push down should also help you, again, relieve that tightness. We want to get the tightness off here, so we need to spread out the tension elsewhere. Right underneath, and then to our sit bones.
And this may be related, like I have this rib cage rotation. If you can see this side, you see it's rotated this way.
Right.
This way.
That certainly could be a piece to it. Because again,
it makes sense.
Yeah, how are things stacking? And which side is doing more work? And it could be with the rotation, it could be a matter of fact of that it does a ton more work positionally, and it still gets tired. So then it goes up the chain and says, help me support up here instead of resting down here.
Okay, so do you suggest me to try to manipulate the rib cage?
The ribs.
Okay, to adjust the neck. Okay,
Yes.
I'm gonna try.
And that's the weird thing, I mean, and I'm certainly someone with neck issues, is that you are actually looking for neck relief instead of necessarily neck adjustment. And what I mean by that is if you've got a tension spot, I'll just kind of tense it up and do a lot of neck there. Once the ribs are in the right position to support it, it will relax. So it isn't like you're doing one of these. It's, okay, this is on. How do I adjust everything underneath? It could be scapula, it could be elbow. A lot of times in cars here too, like if your elbow is on the rest or the window, like there's all these rest positions that can give you information, but it's what is this guy doing so that your arms can be completely free and doing whatever. You don't feel the neck, and the tension is in your midsection.
Okay. I have one last question. So I know this maybe is not your topic, or maybe yes, I don't know. But if you can suggest me like if you can suggest me something to integrate in my strength training, apart from I most of the time I don't like train like strength train no more. Mm-hmm. I do more like climbing, boxing, and I play with the bricks and all the stuff. But so I experiment more than I just train, like literally following a program.
Nothing wrong with that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know you do the same, and Darren also. But if you want to suggest me like an exercise, I want to increase a little bit. I want to put some size, not too much, but maybe I want to do some strength work, and I don't want to get too much compression. Mm-hmm. But I still want to, and also when I think about some of the concepts that Darian talked, like okay, this muscle here, they are not supposed to be strong; they're supposed to be fast. So sometimes I think, okay, I'm training something that is getting me more athletic, or just training to train. So
yeah,
what do you suggest me to work on?
The response is always going to be this. What is it that you like to do? What is it that you want to do? Do those, but have an emphasis of these points we've been talking about. Again, like where is the left heel? What is the left heel doing? Where is the rib cage? If I have a bunch of weight, that my attention has to go to the weight instead of the rib cage, which I know is a bit off. Like I'm gonna back off and hang out there. In general, in this instance where you are trying to manipulate variables in the right way, and get time under tension, I would go definitely the route of isometrics or partial isometrics. So again, if you like to squat, then squat, but notice where in that squat things get hard. And how do you adjust yourself to make it easy and hang out there?
Okay, so for example, when I did the last time that I did the trap bar deadlift, mm-hmm. I know that there is a point where this knee goes in, but this doesn't go in. So mm-hmm. It's you see this,
right? And
maybe let's say I was in this position, I was wider, but I was mm-hmm. boom, right. Like this. So this was didn't want to go in like the other one.
Okay.
Because I have good pronation, but I feel that is more here on this portion, yeah. and less here.
So again, if you're feeling that compensation, then your goal would be to set the foot where there isn't that compensation and then perform the movement. And I think we're of the same, like, it's so, like, again, it is okay if your knees move in. They probably actually do want to move in. But what you're saying,
I want them to go a little bit inside.
Right.
In fact, this was going inside. The other one was.
And your left wasn't. The other thing to think, because again, it's and I am for, again, if you want to go after like symmetry, again, there's many parts, but like absolutely go at it. Why one knee might be moving and the other one not is that, again, you probably load through your left side. The reason, even though it's your injured side, and probably because it's your injured side, maybe that's why, I know it was an accident, but there's a lot of things that go into it. So if I'm going for that and I only have one moving, it's because this one has my weight and this is the one that is the only one that can move. Right? Like, that's why I'm on this leg, which is why this leg can do anything it wants. So instead of being like, again, you're bad, the one that's doing all the work, all right, let me just load my right. And that's weird because my body is not used to loading my right. It's used to loading my left. And you see how tentative even that little parlay was. So it isn't that the one that isn't moving is the bad one. It's the one that isn't moving has the load and is used to taking the load. So the other one, you have a stable side and a mobile side. So if you're looking for that to kind of make symmetry out of that, it's to start teasing that mobile side to be your stable side. So a lot of that, for example, that right side down, left leg up.
Left leg.
Yeah. So if you said your left side is the one that holds and your right side moves, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you want to then start to load the right. Like, you want to make it 90-10, 80-20. And you really want that right so that you're able to get that condensed.
Okay.
And also with the position, Darian's been putting up a lot of things now with the back leg, right? So how do I train that right side behind me? How do I train that right side in front? My natural stance is left side forward. So it isn't necessarily how to strengthen, but how do I rely on that side?
Okay, cool. Yeah, pretty much a lot of information for today.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I will be in the gym tomorrow and starting, experimenting and training because new gym. So I will be training a lot for sure. I will be training athletes, a lot of athletes, especially like an Olympic skier and a tennis player. Next month probably. So
some very different motor patterns there. Nice.
Yeah, also coming from like my background in combat sport, so different athletes.
Yeah.
But,
what a great way to opportunity to apply.
Yeah, definitely. And nothing. So we can already think about having another call. I just want to have another one and without having too much time passing because I have some ideas that pop in my mind and I'm writing them down. But I want to have more bricks, more stuff.
Time to try and test.
Yeah, to try in at the moment. So I will be in the gym, so maybe we can have a call when I'm there, and just to try some different things, and also to have some cool things to try and to have people try. Maybe.
Are you thinking as soon? Because I'm just trying to parlay sooner. Is sooner to you in a weekish or more like 2 weeks? A weekish?
Yeah, maybe even a weekish. Yeah.
Okay.
At the end of the next week, Thursday again. Thursday.
So what works best? Just so there's a holiday coming up in America. Which is Labor Day.
For me, it's I don't have literally any day is fine.
Okay, because I happen to be off school. So Monday, I think it's so not tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow would actually work great.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
Great.
Yeah,
we'll set it up.
That would be... Okay. So we will send you a message.
Yeah, and I'll load this up, and once it's loaded, I'll send you the link so you could rewatch.
Okay. So thank you, Christine.
You're very welcome.
Have a nice week.
You too. Talk soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.